Today, Entrepreneurial Post episode, we're going to be talking about the Grammy Award winning, formerly rap artist, straight out of Houston, Chamillionaire. We're going to be talking about how he became a savvy investor, startup builder, and a champion for diversity in tech. So that's who we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be giving him his flowers because he is a successful entrepreneur / investor in the tech world of investing in tech companies, startup companies, and what have you. So he's been very successful, got his own company. So we definitely going to dive deep into Chamillionaire and just give him his flowers, man, because this is very needed to give people flowers while they're here and show other entrepreneurs you don't have to be that big tycoon of an entrepreneur to be successful or to be doing things on a big scale of things when it comes to being an entrepreneur or investor and what have you. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be giving Chamillionaire his flowers today on this Entrepreneurial Post episode. But make sure y'all tap on in, subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell and make sure you smash on that like button, man, because we're going all the way with it. Yep. Everybody, man, thank y'all for tuning in to Entrepreneurial Post. This is the first episode of the Entrepreneurial Post, man. Before I get started on the topic for today, I just want to give you a rundown what Entrepreneurial Post is all about. Here on Entrepreneurial Post, we giving flowers to the entrepreneurs that's in the field of entrepreneurship, that really don't get the recognition, that don't get the praise, their flowers, like the big tycoon entrepreneurs like the Jeff Bezos, like the Elon Musk, and what have you. So we're going to give flowers, praise, and recognition to those entrepreneurs out there / investors that's not getting the recognitions, but they are doing it. They are very successful at being an entrepreneur, and I want to let and I'm using this Entrepreneur Post to let every other entrepreneur know that you don't have to have that mega notoriety. You don't have to have a certain scale of notoriety. You don't have to be a big tycoon entrepreneur known with recognition to be able to be successful. So this is what Entrepreneur Post is about. Just let you know that these entrepreneurs have a pulse in the field of entrepreneurship, and you definitely can have one too. Just continue to be 10 toes down, continue to move forward, continue to stay disciplined, continue to stay focused, and you definitely will be able to have success like these entrepreneurs that we're going to be giving flowers to in these episodes of Entrepreneurial Posts. But other than that, guys, you know what to do before we get started. Make sure you hit on that subscribe button. Make sure you hit on that like button, and definitely hit on that notification bell so you be notified when a new episode drop. And definitely hit on that like button so that I can really know we dropping real content over here. But before I get started, make sure you definitely subscribe to Invest Media, because Invest Media, we're gonna have other shows on here. We got the Entrepreneur Conversation, where that's more of we're talking about different topics and what have you. So you definitely want to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any Entrepreneur Conversation episodes. And we also got it over at Entrepreneur Post. We got Entrepreneur Conversation YouTube page, but eventually I'm gonna stop posting new episodes on that. So that's why it's so important for y'all to subscribe to this channel right here. And we also later on we're going to be dropping content for Invest Brand TV on this media channel. Just Invest Media TV, just basically just giving you back just a behind the scenes look at the branding side of Invest. So y'all will know, because that's our branding side. I'm working on that. I'm definitely bringing that back. That's our Invest Motivational Streetwear side. So that's what Invest TV is going to be about, just giving you motivational clips, just giving you backstories, and just giving you just the background of just the backdrop of everything that goes on behind the scenes of Invest brand and what have you. So that's coming later. I'm gonna start probably later on in the year filming some content for that to put on Invest Brand TV. So Invest Media, man, we're gonna be busy. So that's why it's important, man, for you to subscribe to the channel right now, because this is for all my entrepreneurs. This is a hub for my new entrepreneurs, my up and coming entrepreneurs, or just entrepreneurs that want to have a place to go to and just have some type of information, advice. This is what we here for, man. Entertainment and what have you. So that's what it is. Invest Media. Make sure you subscribe. But hey guys, man, we about to talk about the topic at hand today. Like I said, we're gonna be talking about Chamillionaire, giving him his flowers. But before we do that, I'm gonna give you a brief introduction of who Chamillionaire is, starting with his rap career. Just give you a quick briefing of who he is, just in case you don't know who he is, you're not familiar what he did and what have you. So I definitely want you to get a clear understanding before we jump into his entrepreneurial journey, because that's what we focus on. This is what it's all about. So Chamillionaire, you know, he's out of Houston, Texas. I believe he's from the north side of Houston area. I could be wrong. You know, he co-founded the group, the Color Change Click. Then he eventually went over to Swisher House, which was ran by DJ Michael Watts, right? So his label mates, he had Power Wall, Slim Thug, Mike Jones. So, you know, Swisher House was known for their mixtapes, they freestyle, which, you know, that's when Chamillionaire came on the scene, was the late 90s, early 2000s, where the mixtape scene, because if you listen to rap around that time, music, you know, the mixtape scene, the freestyle, those was popular. Everybody liked listen to the mixtapes. Everybody liked listen to the freestyle. People freestyle. So that was the thing going on around that time. So he ended up going to Swisher House, doing a couple mixtapes with them, songs, freestyles. And if you ever listen to Chamillionaire, he had a very unique freestyle. You know, he had a very nice little flow. He can, you know, flip it quick and what have you. So very storytelling with his freestyle, with his flow. So Chamillionaire, he really made a splash in the game far as with Swisher House, right? So around about 2005, that's when he ended up leaving Swisher House around that time and signing with Universal. And his first album that he dropped with Universal was called Sounds of Revenge, which featured the Grammy award-winning song featuring Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony called Ridin, which everybody know, riding dirty, we riding dirty, right? And if you listen to music around that time, I can tell you now where I'm from, that's all you heard on the radio. That's what you heard in the clubs. That's what you heard in people's cars. That's what you heard at sporting events. So that was a very popular song, right? Which that song ended up hitting the top 10 on the Billboard 200, right? So then around 2007, he ended up releasing another album called Ultimate Victory, which is known to be a profanity-free album, right? So Chamillionaire, he hit his pinnacle high, whatever you want to call it, far as being a rapper, right? So around, I want to say 2010, around that time, he started to become more interested in financial literacy and business talks. So I'm going to give you just talk about a little bit about his entrepreneurial ventures that he had within that time frame before we jump into his tech investments. So around 2003, he invested in a Houston company called Fly Rides, right? So this is a Houston-based car customized business, which was part of the Texas auto culture, right? So back in 2004, he ended up founding Chamillionaire Entertainment, which he created this label after he parted ways with Swisher House, right? So it didn't really become fully independent operated until he parted ways with Universal back in 2011. So in the mid 2000s, Chamillionaire ended up launching a modeling agency which aimed to help undiscovered talent find opportunities, right? And that was called Masterpiece Mindframe, and that was mid 2000. Then around 2006, he ended up creating a tour bus company which developed luxury tour buses with amenities like Wi-Fi, studios, and showers for artists on the go, right? So those was some of his investments early on in his entrepreneurship and what have you as an entrepreneur, right? But uh he really didn't hit his success until he started to invest in startup tech companies. And this is where he moved out to Silicon Valley, which, Silicon Valley, if you know that, it have a lot of startup tech companies. So if you are interested in investing in tech companies, Silicon Valley will be one of the places you will want to go to find a company to invest in, like Chamillionaire, right? So Chamillionaire, now after his entrepreneurial ventures, he took his entrepreneurship on over to Silicon Valley, right? So his tech investments, we're going to talk about his tech investments that he made, right? So back in 2009, his first tech investment was with a company called Maker Studio, right? So this was a YouTube focused talent network, right? Which was later on acquired by Disney, right? So it was reported to be over a $500 million sale or what have you. I think it was between 500 million, $700 million that it sold for. But Chamillionaire, he invested 1.5 in Maker Studio, which he was end up getting a rate of return of his investments, of reportedly over $20 million. So that was a hell of an investment, right? For him to be able to go and invest $1.5 million on a startup tech company, not even knowing that they was going to get acquired by Disney. Disney is a big company, right? So for him to get a rate of he get a return of on his investment, which is what we know as a ROI, is over 20 million. That's a hell of a return, right? Then 2019, he ended up investing money in Cruise Automation, which this is a self-driving tech startup company, which was later on acquired by General Motors back in 2016, which was reportedly to be over $1 billion. So right now, Chamillionaire is on the right track to already invest in two startup companies, and they both bought by two big companies. This is a great way to start as an investor, right? Then they said his other investments was in Lyft, Ring, Dropbox, and many more, right? But Ring, I think they said, was acquired by Amazon. So out of all his startup companies that he invested in, three of them was acquired by three major companies: Disney, GM, and Amazon. So they reported that his investment portfolio was up to like 50 million. So for him to make that transition from the rap industry to now investing, you're going to see he don't even go. That's why you really haven't seen Chamillionaire go and do another rap album or go tap back into the music industry, because he is making X amount of money now that he probably wouldn't seen in the rap game, right? Especially you start tapping into investing, you start creating your own companies, you're going to start seeing a lot of more residuals come in. And as a person, if you're a rapper out there, you got to think about your second part of your career, what you're going to do outside of rap, what you're going to do after rap, because rap money only lasts so long. Rapping only lasts so long, right? So you got to find other things to do. So by Chamillionaire hitting his success early in the rap career, it allowed him to now become interested in financial literacy. So those was a couple of his early investments that he did to help him start off on the right foot. So then he ended up making his transition to venture capital, which landed him a role at Upfront Ventures, right? So Chamillionaire, he ended up becoming the first rapper to hold a title at a major VC firm, right? Which this firm offers strategic insight on branding and consumer investments. So this is very major role for Chamillionaire. And this was back in 2015. It's called Entrepreneur in Residence. So for him to be able to have that role, to learn even more how to be a successful investor, entrepreneur, this is something that's going to definitely go a long way to help him secure his wealth, his financial wealth in life, right? So then, he became an innovator and influencer in tech, launching a global innovation tournament at Stanford in 2009. He continued to speak as an investor in events and demo days and what have you. So as Chamillionaire, he started became more familiar in learning the tech industry, the tech world, investing and what have you. He started to become a speaker. He wanted people to come to learn, to become familiar with the tech industry, right? Then back in 2018, he ended up co-founding the app called Convo app, which was a platform through X Empire, right? So this was right here. I guess it enables short public videos between fans and influencers, right? So this was something that it was seeded by top investors, including Upfront Ventures. So he not only hit success as a rapper, now he's hitting major success as as an entrepreneur slash investor, right? So he found, like I say, he founded the app called Convo back in 2018. So these are the things that he became successful at by just going to Silicon Valley, investing in startup companies. Now he moved on from that, and he made the transition to venture capital, right? So he's learning different things, and this is what you have to do. And by Chamillionaire doing this allow him to tap into different markets, to tap into different things, to diversify his portfolio as an investor. Different little things, right? Then he started promoting diversity and access in tech, right? Back in 2019. Pitch Competitors, I think that's what it's called, Pitch Competitors back in 2019, alongside rappers E40, backed by Damon John, launched offering 25K to startups led by women or people of color, and later invested in Atoms and footwear brand and what have you. So with other rappers like E40, backed by Damon John, he wanted to really help women who wanted to become investors, entrepreneurs, people of color. So Chamillionaire wanted to diversify the tech world, right? He wanted to help those that wanted to tap into the Silicon Valley tech industry and what have you. He was there to help them, right? So he ended up doing that. Then he ended up becoming an advocate, which Chamillionaire, he ended up speaking, he ended up speaking and emphasizing that diverse founders bring unique perspective and solutions to tech. So his main focus when he started to advocate, he wanted to advocate for Black and minority entrepreneurs who wanted to break into Silicon Valley, right? So that was his main thing. Once he started to learn, he did early on when he first came to Silicon Valley, made his investment. He learned how to invest. He learned different other things that you can do. He wanted other Black and minority entrepreneurs that was interested in investing in the tech world to know. He started to advocate for them. He wanted to help them get the funds that that minorities and Blacks within that area get, right? So he wanted to make sure that they were able to get funding, advocating for them, and what have you. So that was so major about Chamillionaire, man. He really took the time to try to help, other entrepreneurs that were interested in trying to tap into the market of tech, investing in, startup companies and what have you, right? So They saying, well, his network and overall impact, his network is around, they estimate around 50 million, largely built on smart investment in business ventures beyond music, right? So his legacy, right? Let's talk about his legacy. Chamillionaire legacy as a rapper to an entrepreneur and investor demonstrate foresight, adaptability, and commitment to making meaningful change in tech and entertainment, right? So when it's all said and done, when you think about Chamillionaire and his legacy, you see him as a successful rapper. He hit his highest peak as a rapper, winning a Grammy, getting that commercial success. Then he made that transition over to an entrepreneur and to investor. And now he's showing people that you can adapt into different situations when you apply yourself, right? So when you make the commitment to making change, and that's why he became an advocate within the tech world, because he want to change and he want to make sure that black and minorities will be able to break into Silicon Valley with no issues, with no problems, and what have you, right? So what's the key lessons that we learned today about Chamillionaire? He showed how to evolve. He showed how to diversify and keep reinventing yourself. And that's what you have to do, especially, like I said, Chamillionaire, he understood rap. Being a rapper is not going to last forever. Rap money ain't going to last forever. I got to find different things to be able to secure my future financially. I want to start building wealth. So that's when he became a smart entrepreneur, a smart investor, making smart investments and beyond his music. So now he has a estimate network of 50 million because of the investments and what have you. So that's very important. So what's the takeaway of all this? The takeaway of all this, whether you start in music, business, or whatever you start at as an entrepreneur, right? You can use your platform to build something far bigger, right? And that's what these platforms is for. Platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you start at in life. Like I said, it don't matter if it's music, business, anywhere you start at as an entrepreneur, make sure you're using your platform to create something bigger, right? Understand, apply yourself so you can be able to make smart investments, smart business moves, so you can be able to build your wealth and what have you, right? So this shows us, man, that fame doesn't equal wealth. Smart investing builds real freedom, right? And reinvention is the ultimate hustle. So this is what we doing. All my entrepreneurs, you can do it. You don't have to have the level of notoriety. You don't have to be a tycoon entrepreneur. You can hit success just applying yourself, learning, understanding, and making sure you're reinventing yourself so you will never fall behind. But other than that, man, guys, thank y'all for tapping into the Entrepreneurial Pulse. So definitely stay tuned to the next Entrepreneurial Pulse. Man, make sure before I leave, hit that subscribe button. Before you leave, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell. And make sure you smash on that like button so I can really know we dropping real content over here. So thank you, man, because it's only going to go up from here. It's going to get bigger and better. So you don't want to miss out on it, man. Invest.